Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is talking about my opposition from Monterey Trail. But that's the thing. By saying he's from Monterey Trail, I give it a time and a limitation. But I'm not talking about Monterey Trail. I'm talking about my opposition for a very, very long time. Since this is an incorporated city, I don't think I would be alive without that happening. And I think that's the reason for the incorporation, so that way I could survive to tell my story. Or her story, the story of my female human childbearing counterpart. And so, guys, I really mean what I'm saying, that this is the edge of human history. So since human beings have existed, right, I have been this is my opposition since then. And it's like the methods and everything that he does is being proven and it's being known now. So I'm the third generation with my name, and it's taken this long to say that, to say what I'm saying now. Not only that, but to prove it. So what am I proving, ladies and gentlemen? That school was built supposed to be for truth and education. We were supposed to learn that time is like a river and to go upstream. But instead, they used that school, Monterey Trail High School, and they created a milestone to go hypothetically forward in the false direction. So I'm going upstream, ladies and gentlemen. The things these people are doing is they're misusing drugs. We weren't able to find this out until now, because now we have YouTube, we have Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all these nerdy people that can help us. Now, imagine how long drugs have existed and how long human beings have existed. Now, think about the program, the parasitical program that Malone Brown Descendants and Friends and Jaylen Brown Descendants and Friends are using. They're using the the Epstein pedophiles, which are contractors and people that value skills and labor and creativity and architecture and plumbing and all these skills that we need to live our life today. And eventually they fall into pedophilia, and we understand that's wrong, and we try to correct that or mitigate that until they pass away. Now, the P. Diddy's, on the other hand, they live off of our infrastructure, off of the things that we built, and they indulge in arts and recreation and pedophilia, in which they don't want to acknowledge that that is wrong. And they are being like a rotten apple to the Epstein pedophiles. They're telling the Epstein pedophiles that, oh, it's okay. And they're getting them on the same team. So you have to understand what is going on if you consider yourself excluded from all that. And who is that? That's people like the rapper Smokey Loc. That's people like the rapper Mr. Criminal. That the rapper South Park Mexican. People like the Becerra and Cortezes that are stuck in other people's thing that they have going on, and we don't understand it, so we do the best that we can. And in doing that, we learned how to use drugs. We learned what drugs are for. Well, maybe not everybody, okay, but I did, okay? I learned what drugs are for, and ladies and gentlemen, what technology is for. This YouTube platform has never existed before. Being an MC artist like South Park Mexican or Mr. Criminal or these rappers never existed before. So they are utilizing that to the best of their ability. They're sending us messages. It's not just for entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Everything has a purpose and a reason. And that's what the P. Diddy pedophiles and Jaylen Brown, descendants and friends are trying to get us to be complicit in. But Jaylen Brown he's supposed to be the most upright, and he's supposed to be the tip of the spear, the example to be that type of pedophile, to that type of to follow along that type of mentality. And that's fooling the Becerros and the Cortezes. Okay? That's fooled us to go along with him, that encompass us as the ultimate pedophiles or the ultimate of extreme evil. And that's not the case. And here it is proven in the city of Elk Grove since it was incorporated in the year 2000. So therefore, that explains the backlash. Bin Laden probably was threatened to commit those attacks on the Twin Towers, September 11th, 2001. All those people, Baghdadi, whatever their names are, they probably were threatened. But they were able to get away and get somebody else to do it, force them to do it, and then they left their IDs there to just say that, oh, they did it, so that way their family would be cool. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is understandable. And that, ladies and gentlemen, explains why Osama bin Laden was able to evade U.S. intelligence for so long. Because he was a United States, he was an American. He was in the United States and he was an American. So you have to think critically. You have to understand the factors of the field of your environment. And you have to see how the city of Elk Grove, how it's incorporated, is helping every single person in every single patch of dirt they live on. Even if they're in North Korea or if in there, it doesn't matter. Everywhere on Earth. That's the thing. So all these skyscrapers and all these tall buildings are keeping people in echo chambers. And they have figured out how to do that so well, to the point to where they come out down here to the real world and they don't know what's going on. So this incorporated city of Elk Grove is for the people of New York to come down as like a safety ladder to touch base with reality and the real country, like how reality is. And these people like Jaylen Brown, descendants and friends, that he's trying to run away, but I already know he is part of the group of Faraji, Alex, Kyrie King, and that whole gang, all the people that have been associated with them since forever. All those people are the same people, and they have to stay away from here. Stay away from Sacramento. And you know who you are if you're dealing with them, because I know your mentality and how juvenile it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I have no choice to be myself until my last breath, because that's how I was raised. And many people suffered and died for me to be myself, and for my mother to be herself. Not many people can be themselves, but ladies and gentlemen, that is what you may think, that we're special, but we're not. We were just granted the opportunity to be ourselves, and you are fooled into thinking that we think of ourselves so uppity and that we're special. No, we just appreciate, and that's it. And you people are misusing your energy to come at me and my mother. So you have to please think critically. Metacognition, recollection, critical thinking skills have never been more important. Ladies and gentlemen, I was born in 1994 and in this real estate development since 1996, and a genuine education until second grade at Raymond Case, September 11th, 2001. That's when people, it's almost like ladies and gentlemen, it's just, you have to know, everything is for subjective synthesis and objective negation, and that is the ultimate test of what happened after that and how people acted, and if people can articulate themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.